Most of us have picked up 1 or 2 or 5 new hobbies over the last year and a half. Among the most popular hobbies people started doing during quarantine are board games, exercise, and even bread making. The hobbies of billionaires are comparably extravagant and extreme. If you've ever wondered how the 1% spends their free time, we'll fill you in. Before we dive in, make sure you don't miss our next video and subscribe with the button down below. Number 8. Extreme mountain climbing. $100,000 plus. Mountain climbing is the perfect sport for billionaires who happen to be adrenaline junkies. Mountaineering challenges your physical, emotional, and mental resilience, but it takes an even bigger chunk out of your pocketbook. Extreme mountaineering is among the most expensive hobbies in the world. From preparations to specialty equipment to expert guidance, every step will cost you. Before setting foot on any of the world's tallest towering mountains, you'll need to be in tip-top physical shape. Most likely, you'll want to hire a personal trainer and establish baseline fitness before scaling mountains. Once you're in suitable conditions, you'll still need special gear to help you summit safely, which usually costs about $10,000 or more. For mountains like Everest, you'll need to purchase a permit, which also starts at $10,000. After food, water, medical supplies, transportation, and an expedition guide, you'll likely spend at least $100,000. Mountains in more remote areas, like Mount Sidley in Antarctica, will require additional travel expenses just to access the mountain. Number 7. Travel. $150,000 plus. It's not a surprise that the ultra-rich enjoy traveling. Who wouldn't want to skip the lines in middle seats, jet-setting around the world in a private plane? Luxury travel has become an outlet to flaunt wealth and status. Therefore, billionaires don't just travel to your typical tourist destinations. Business Insider reports that Egypt, Japan, and Iceland are the most popular tourist destinations for the ultra-wealthy. However, countries off the beaten path like Myanmar, Rwanda, and Bhutan also made the top 10. The cost of travel is dependent on accommodations, transportation, and activities. Therefore, it's difficult to know how much billionaires are truly spending on travel. However, most sources agree that it costs at the very least $150,000 to take an extended trip around the world that hits every continent. Billionaires are among the lucky few who have both the time and money to gallivant around the world. Number 6. Equestrianism. $1 million plus. While billionaires love cars as much as the next person, at some level of wealth, even the most exotic cars become banal. Hence, equestrianism is very popular among the wealthy. Many riders and equestrian circuits come from wealth, royalty, or fame due to its pomp and expense. To be a competitive equestrian, it's necessary to own at least a few horses in order to compete in multiple classes of competition. Elite horses can cost upwards of $1 to $2 million each, more than most Lamborghinis. Additionally, it's necessary to have stables to house your horses. Plus, there are veterinarians, trainers, travel expenses, gear, and other upkeep and competition costs. Bill and Melinda Gates' daughter Jennifer is perhaps the most famous billionaire-bred equestrian. At 25, Jennifer is an accomplished and decorated equestrian. Her parents have purchased multiple properties related to the sport, each for tens of millions of dollars. Number 5. Private space travel. $20 million plus. Billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Richard Branson are making headlines in the billionaire space race. While these billionaires are pushing the boundaries of space tourism, the industry is still catering to other billionaires. At this point, the cost of space travel is so high that it precludes everyone but the top of the 1%. A ticket on Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic, for example, will run $200,000 to $250,000 for a few minutes at the border of space. And if the border of space doesn't sound daring enough for you, you'll need to spend about $55 million to journey to the International Space Station on SpaceX's next commercial offering. The first space tourist was a wealthy entrepreneur, Dennis Tito, who paid $20 million to visit the ISS in 2001. Number 4. Yachting. $50 million plus. According to a survey by WealthX, a market research firm that studies the ultra-wealthy, 21.8% of billionaires with more than $5 billion partake in boating. We've all heard that boats are a money pit. Unlike luxury cars, houses, and other assets, boats rarely hold their value and have enormous upkeep and maintenance costs. Additionally, if you own your yacht, you'll need to pay a captain's salary as well as a support staff. A 170-foot yacht can run you $50 million or more, though the super yachts that billionaires own are usually much pricier. Jeff Bezos made headlines earlier this year when he purchased a 417-foot luxury yacht with several decks and an accompanying super yacht with a helipad for $500 million. However, despite Jeff's rankings as the richest person in the world, his super yacht pales in comparison to some of the world's other billionaires. Russian businessman Roman Abramovich owns the most expensive privately owned super yacht in the world, a 533-foot boat that costs $1.5 billion. Number 3. Owning a vineyard, $60 million plus. Wine already has an uppity reputation befitting of a billionaire. In general, wealthy people enjoy fine wines. However, for some, tasting them isn't enough. Viticulture, or the cultivation of grapevines, is a trend among billionaires. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie famously purchased a chateau and vineyard in southern France in May 2008 for $60 million. The couple was married in the chateau's chapel in 2014. You can purchase a bottle of the winery's new champagne for $390. Number 2. Collecting art, $100 million plus. Billionaires have exquisite and expensive tastes, which of course extends to art. Dating back to ancient times, the wealthy have always been patrons of the arts. Curating art collections is one of the most expensive hobbies in the world. The Salvator Mundi oil painting by Leonardo da Vinci, for example, dates back to the 16th century Italian Renaissance. Since it was painted by the most decorated artist in history, it makes sense that it would be auctioned for $450 million. Many billionaires are patrons of the arts, including LVMH chief executive Bernard Arnault, aka the Wolf in Cashmere, who has one of the most impressive private art collections with pieces by Picasso, Warhol, and Henry Moore. Though the exact value of his collection is unknown, it's estimated to be worth billions. Bill Gates also has an impressive art collection valued at $130 million, which includes a $30.8 million Leonardo da Vinci journal which he keeps in his study. Number 1. Philanthropy, billions. Imagine having so much wealth that giving it away becomes one of your hobbies. According to Business Insider, philanthropy is the most popular hobby among the ultra-wealthy. Many billionaires, including Bill and Melinda Gates and Warren Buffett, continue to give away a large portion of their wealth every year. At least 210 billionaires have signed a pledge to give away half their wealth before they die. Funny enough, this list doesn't include Mr. Jeff Bezos. Are you really surprised though? According to the Chronicle of Philanthropy, the top 50 biggest donors in the US in 2020 gave away $24.7 billion. Surprisingly, Jeff Bezos was the most benevolent giver, donating $10.15 billion to charity, followed by his ex-wife Mackenzie Scott, who gave $5.73 billion. The Gates Foundation, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates, gives away at least $5 billion per year and has an overall endowment above $50 billion. Billionaires have wealth and power beyond measure. They're able to easily take on the world's most expensive and exquisite hobbies without blinking an eye. If money was no object, what hobby would you pursue? Tell us in the comments below. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button and check out our next video. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video.